It's Colors of the Month time! Hello and welcome back to Jenna Gets Creative. Sorry for once again releasing a late video. Going down to 2 videos a week from 3 was supposed to make it easier to be on time, but somehow it's just made me lazier so far. Hopefully that'll improve. I actually did start this piece on time, but we had a lot of errands to run, neighborhood kids wanted kiddo to go outside and play, and that requires supervision. We had a last-minute visit with one of the 2 non-relative families in our bubble so kiddo could play with their kids, and we could see some other adults. Yeah, unexpectedly busy. Also, I've taken on a proofreading client who is extremely inconsistent about when he sends new documents, and super impatient once he finally sends them. And I spent more time than I wanted to editing what felt like 5 chapters of an undergraduate psychology textbook on Thursday. We're not on the same continent, my client and I had to politely point out that his "Hey, have you started yet?" messages came in around 2 and 3 a.m. I can't wait to have enough work coming in that I can afford to fire clients when I need to. Sorry if that sounds bitter, and don't worry, I highly doubt a client who isn't a native English speaker and has me editing non-fiction lifestyle and psychology topics is watching a tiny little channel like mine painting Nintendo characters with watercolor markers. Anyway, Marker Universe issued a new set of 4 challenge colors for June, as they do every month, and it's time to have some fun with them. Color number 1 is Lemonaid, also known as Yellow Gold, hex code E7AC55. I'll be using the Karin shades they've recommended on their Colors of the Month shop page, and for this one I'm using Karin Brushmarker PRO 357 Pale Orange. Color number 2 is Fruit Punch, also known as Semi-Deep Red, hex code D9302F. For this one, I'm using Karin Brushmarker PRO 181 Lipstick Red. Color number 3 is Sunny D, also known as Saturated Orange, hex code F16830. I'll be using Karin Brushmarker PRO 195 Amber. Finally, color number 4 is Kewl-Aid, also known as Cool Sky Blue, hex code 57C6DB. For this one, I'm using Karin Brushmarker PRO 264 Arctic Blue. I'm going to admit that I had no idea what to do with this palette at first, and I started looking at birds on Pixabay, but then I had a strange aha moment. My husband has asked me to do some Disney paintings for kiddo's room, and I wasn't about to actually do that today on a small paper with these markers that aren't light fast, but it made me think maybe I could practice drawing a recognizable character and see what kind of style I want to go with. The red and warm yellow made me think of Winnie the Pooh, and I considered that, but I wasn't sure how to incorporate the other 2 colors. In retrospect, it's obvious. Add Tigger and put them on a blue background, but I didn't think of that when I was about to do my sketch. So I googled characters by color and Mario came up, which made me wonder if there was a Mario character I felt like drawing that would fit this color scheme. Shy Guy. Shy Guy almost matches. And I love Shy Guy. He's seriously one of my favorite characters in the Mario universe, and I love using him in Mario Party. If you've never tried the newer versions of Mario Party, you can choose to roll a standard 1 to 6 die, or you can roll a die that's unique to your character. Some characters have higher numbers than 6, but also have negative numbers, or sides that give or take coins without moving, so it's quite the gamble to use them. Shy Guy's die? 5 of the sides are a 4, and the 6th one is just 0, so he'll either move 4 spots, which is most likely, or do nothing. Gain an ally, and you can do a lot with Shy Guy. Before I forget, for the sake of those who like knowing exactly what I'm using, the other supplies are a Prismacolor Kohl Erase pencil in light blue, used to sketch off camera because kiddo was in the room and kept poking around and getting in frame. A Staedtler pigment liner for the initial line work, a Faber-Castell dust-free eraser, supposedly. I'm not a huge fan of dust-free erasers, but I have it, and I'm a fan of Faber-Castell, so here we are. The 4 Karin Brushmarker PRO markers already mentioned. Sea White of Brighton 350 GSM cold press watercolor paper. A Winsor Newton CotM round brush in size 6. A Curry's store brand watercolor brush round in size 2. A Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen in black. And the mixing was done on a random ceramic plate from the dollar store. So you may have noticed at this point, if you're also a fan of Mario and Shy Guy, that the color palette isn't quite an exact fit. I was able to mix a brown for the bits that are supposed to be brown leather, but it's not as dark as the characters' browns normally are. I also left the blue in its light blue shade, rather than trying to mix in just the right amount of orange to darken it without muddying it, so his shoes are far paler than usual. The red is perfect though, and that's the most important color when doing the default Shy Guy. I wanted the coloring to be as flat and uniform as possible, but I also didn't want to dilute the colors too much, so I didn't start with a wet on wet layer, and I probably should have. I don't think I mind too much though. The blooming that made its way into the final layer has character. A weak point of these markers is no matter what technique you used for getting the color from the marker onto the paper, it's nearly impossible to get uniform color on anything bigger than those little blue shoes he's wearing. I actually considered selling my set of Karin brush markers because I was feeling like I paid more for them than the value I was getting out of them. That might be true, but when I listed some stuff on Facebook Marketplace, Karin set included, I noticed that I was really hoping nobody would be interested in them. And then nobody was for nearly 2 weeks, but then suddenly 2 separate people were contacting to ask if this was still available, and seemingly wanted to pay the asking price, and I just took the listing down. I couldn't do it. I knew I would really regret letting them go if I sold these, so I'll continue to play with them here on the channel. At least they get used once a month when I do the Colors of the Month challenge, right? But anyway, it's now technically Saturday morning as I finish this voiceover, and I've still got Saturday blog posts to finish up. I've been ahead on that several times in the last couple of weeks, but Friday had a triple book review slated, and that took far too much time. Yeah, 3 books reviewed all at once. Some of the other participants on that tour got 3 separate dates for the different books, but somehow the organizer just scheduled me to review all of them all at once, which means they got slotted into my reading schedule all at once. Which means I was still finishing the 3rd book on Thursday night when I was supposed to write the Friday blog post. I definitely need to be more reserved with what I agree to review for those tours. If you're looking for more to watch, I've got some suggestions up on the left side of the screen now. Don't forget to like, comment, maybe even subscribe, and if you like living life creatively, whatever that means to you, I'd love to have you along for the ride. Bye guys!